The flame-grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Order the ultimate food satisfaction with the flame grilled bacon double cheeseburger XL. Order your Burger King delivery now.
Let's go!
Europa League Night 2. Celtic last night 1-1. Red Star Belgrade, and it was Iheanacho, the substitute, who came on at half-time for Dyson Maeda, and he scored a great goal. Charlie Mulgrew will be speaking about that and more in a moment or two. And tonight at Ibrox, Rangers up against Genk. Craig Moore is with us. Craig, sun shining just now. It's been red hot at Ibrox, off the scene outside the protests of the weekend, but a win against Hibs. How are you feeling ahead of this one tonight? And Rangers go in as favourites.
Yeah, Rangers will go in as favourites. Is there confidence behind that or my feelings for the game tonight? Probably not confidence, but look, at home and especially in the European fixtures, Rangers have shown that they can raise the bar to a level that certainly translates. Paul, they really just need to be able to continue to stick to the basics. That's what's going to turn things around for Rangers. It's how they got the result at the weekend against Hibs, by doing the basics well. Russell Martin will be desperate to see if he can get the team to improve upon that. Nicola Raskin, that's a conversation we'll get into during the show.
But he will play tonight. Chermiti, we're looking for him this evening, where you think he could start instead of Miofsky?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously he's been brought in for a reason. A lot of money has been spent, Paul, on Chermiti, as we know. I haven't seen enough. So if he were to start tonight, look, big pressure. Anybody that kind of plays the number 9 for Rangers at home games, no matter who you're against, expected to score goals.
Yep, £8 to £10 million. Charlie, what about your old team Celtic last night? Iheanacho, when he came on, took the goal really well.
Yeah, it's a great goal. It's one you kind of wouldn't fancy Maeda to kind of find that space the way he kind of held back for the space and finished it. Took a nice touch, and it's a great finish. He's shown real positive signs so far in the way he's a Brendan Rodgers type of striker, like Dembele, Edwards type, that type of player. Kind of holds the ball up well. And can do a bit of everything really. Maeda's disappointed in the first half. I just feel like he needs to get his head right. He's obviously cleared his locker. He had one foot at the door, and he needs to quickly get back on it and realise that he's at Celtic and he needs to give it his all. Whether he wants a move in January or the summer, or whether he wants to eventually stay, he needs to start to put in performances.
I think you're in the mood for calls tonight, Charlie, is that right?
Yeah, get the calls in. Love
Have
them.
you just put it out on your Insta a few minutes ago?
Put it out, get the calls in.
It's working already.
Yes.
Craig, you up for it as well?
Absolutely. Let's
go on the lines. 08 08 17 17 700. And let's speak to Jamie, a big Celtic fan. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, good evening, lads.
All right, Jamie.
How you doing, Jamie?
Before we start this call, Paul, I've not been on for ages. I've been trying to get through for weeks upon
Jamie,
end.
honestly, the number of calls coming in, but you're on tonight. Good to hear you, Jamie. I know young Paul will be pleased to hear you. What's your main point about Celtic?
Well, my main point is, obviously, I'm delighted we managed to get a point out in Belgrade last night. It could have been a lot better. We could have managed to get a victory last night, but I think getting a point last night sets us up nice for the 2 home games. And I'm another one, Paul, that never bought the Europa League package.
Did you not buy it?
Bought the Europa League package either.
All right, we'll come to that. I'll come to that in a minute. Charlie, what would you say to Jamie about the point away from home last night? What did you think?
Yeah, I think you can look at it both ways. I think we had chances to get the result. Celtic had chances to get the result, but also Red Star had their chances as well. The one that Arnautovic slips through. It's a difficult place to go, away ground. It's hard to feel that atmosphere through watching it on the TV. But listen, overall, I think a point away from home in Europe in a group stage is definitely a decent result.
They've scored at home in every one of the last 75 games, Craig. So, Celtic weren't surprised that they would have a real go, and they've got a track record of scoring.
Yeah, no, Red Star, red hot in their own domestic league, score goals freely. There's no doubt about that. And going away to this type of team was always going to be a real test for Celtic. Celtic weren't great in the first half, but they certainly start the second half extremely well. Maeda coming off, who didn't necessarily contribute a great deal in the first half, but is that down to really the lack of dominance maybe that Celtic had in the game to be able to get him involved? Ian Archer comes on, makes a difference. It was a really good result, Paul, away from home. There's no doubt about that.
Let's hear the manager speak about Daisen Maeda and why he changed it.
He wasn't at his best or nowhere near it. However, he's a good guy, and sometimes that happens in the game. You know, I could have made a couple of changes. Half time, I wanted to make that one, certainly to give us that greater reference at the top of the pitch, and I thought Kyle's come in and was very, very good for us.
Starved of service, yes, Charlie, but he is off it. He's miles off it, and the manager said that. Jamie, you normally go to the games. You'd be at the Champions League matches. We know that. Why didn't you sign up for Braga next week for the game at home?
Because I think we need to try and get rid of Akai, Nicholson and Lawwell, because you're the ones that are causing the bother here in the club. I heard you say last week about Desmond for money at the club. He's no parent at the club for years. It's the likes of yourselves that keep the club going. The fans that keep the club going. Charlie's a big selling man and all. I heard him on the telly as well, because obviously we watch the telly too.
Yeah, you're allowed to watch Premier Sports. Yeah.
I heard him on the telly, see on Premier Sports, that basically we should get off the board's back. He's supporting the board.
Charlie?
And I don't know.
What would you say to Jamie?
I don't know the reason why, Charlie, because...
Jamie, I've only ever said my honest opinion, and my honest opinion is this: the board for Celtic for the last 20 years have done a great job. I don't think MD can argue with that, especially when you compare it directly to what's happened at Rangers. I think that anybody at the club across the city would love a board as a team as well run as Celtic have done it. I don't think we can argue with the fact. And we can argue with that. The fact of the matter is, why we disappointed, why the fans' disappointment. The recruitment this year hasn't been up to scratch. Now, we don't know who does the recruitment, we don't know what the process is, but I think the board should come out, the club should come out and tell everybody what that is. What's the recruitment process? What does that look like? Who makes the final decision on the signings? Who then decides that's the money we're spending? Who then scouts the players, and who's the recruitment department? Paul Tidsdale, I don't know what his role is in all this. I think the fans deserve to have their opinion. Of course, they pay a lot of money and deserve that clarity on the roles and within the club and who does what. That's my honest opinion. There's no doubt about it. The front line should have been strengthened earlier. I think if somebody for the board or whoever does the recruitment stuff comes out and says apologies, it was a mistake made, I think everybody can accept that. But I stand by it. It's not a case of standing by the board or standing by Brendan Rodgers or there's no an option. There's no a side I'm taking here. I'm giving my view and an overall view and what I know. This is what I think the scenario is, mate. I think we just need to be clearer on who's making the signings, why it wasn't done earlier, and maybe an apology to think, could we have got to neck in before the qualifiers? And an extra few million. And I think that's basically it, mate.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest problem has been the timing, right? Because when I look at the recruitment, and everyone will have their opinion on the recruitment, I think the recruitment has actually been good. Tonetki's come in and looks a serious player. Ian Archer is going to get stronger and stronger. He's going to be a really good signing, I think, for Celtic. Nygren coming in, who I think is a right good player.
Did so well in the goal.
Absolutely. And could have scored himself. Tierney coming. I think the recruitment's been okay. I think the biggest problem for the Celtic support has been the timing of the recruitment.
Kyogo was sold in January 2025. There isn't any excuse. Ian Archer came in after they went out of Europe. There is no excuse. And after the window, Coon, they knew he was going. It was time to go. By the cup final, you knew that team had its day. There was time to change it. They didn't change enough. They haven't brought anyone in until Tenecti. So I know what you mean, Jamie. To be fair, Dermot Desmond did put a lot of money into the club, but it is a while ago as far as I know, because obviously there's a big dividends there now. There's £73 million in the bank, and that, Charlie, it's hard to justify, isn't it? Nobody wants them to be reckless, but 73 million. And they've thrown away Champions League this season.
Again, it goes back to, can the signings be made earlier? It might cost a wee bit more money, but that's where you spend a wee bit more money and try and take that gamble to get into the Champions League. A lot of money was spent last year. Maybe they looked at that. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about stuff a wee bit that we don't know the ins and outs on, who makes the signings, who make the final decision on the players. So, I mean, there's certain times we blame Brendan Rodgers for signing Engels and Trusty, and then there's times where we blame the board for not making signings. So who is actually making the signings? That's why I think everybody should be clear on who that is. And when somebody's held accountability is a huge word. If somebody's held accountable for their part in it, then they come out and say, listen, apologies, made a mistake, should have done this earlier and we never. And then you can move on. But nobody's kind of taking that accountability, and I think that's a disappointment.
Jamie?
Charlie, you're saying somebody's got to come out and take accountability, but if they take accountability parties, the high-five statements are absolute rubbish.
Yeah,
That's the problem with Parky. The high-five statements are absolute rubbish. They don't tell fans the truth. And you know, Paul, it breaks my heart no going to Parky for the European games.
We can hear it.
There's no bigger selling fan myself.
Jamie, you've got 6 days. You could be there next week. Change your mind, go along. The club should be listening. There isn't any excuse for this. With that money in the bank, why is it not better recruitment? In fact, arguably, they wait so late that the price goes up. Clubs, remember Ida the year before? It got so late. Why did that go to, 8 million? Should have been done earlier. Now, maybe, I think Norwich played it cute with them. Yang was on the way to Norwich 2 months ago, and then he's on last night. And is he up to it, Yang? I don't like to single a player, but I don't think he is. Listen, Jamie, we're going to have to move on. There's so many calls coming in. Charlie wants them. He's getting them. 0808 17 17 700. Rangers fans, Craig's here as well ahead of the match tonight. Chermiti, we think, look for him to start tonight ahead of Miovski, although Rangers fans like Miovski.
Yeah, and so do I. I think Miovski will score plenty.
Yep. Let's go to Josh, a big Scotland fan down south of the border. Hi, Josh. Good evening.
All right, boys.
Hi, Josh.
All right, Josh.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so, the point concerns Rangers and this building of momentum.
Yeah.
The League Cup success under the magnitude of pressure on the players and the manager. I think over recent seasons, they've harnessed this European form to try and build a platform of success. The fans have been given something to shout about through the means of that competition. Craig, defensively, clean sheets against Celtic and Hibs. They've been chipping a lot of goals, so that's sort of good signs, isn't it, that they're starting to slowly steady that ship as well and keep the back door shut. They're more than capable of scoring goals. They've added Chermiti. I saw him play one full 90 minutes for Everton and I gave him man of the match. That was a long time ago against Brentford.
All right,
But yeah, Craig, from a defensive point of view, that's the platform score and build. I mean, they're scoring 2 and 3 in a game and drawing 3-3, 2-2, those sort of things.
Yep.
So tightening that up is paramountly important, isn't it?
Well, I think you're bang on. In terms of being defensively strong and consistent and obviously limiting goals. Clean sheets are great. It gives everybody a huge lift in terms of confidence and a fantastic platform to then go and win games of football. I think that if Rangers are able to build, and I'm just doing the basic fundamentals correct, and doing them consistently. Was it flashy or amazing against Hibs? No. Did everyone do their job? Yes. You go and you get a clean sheet and you go and can build and get your goals. That for me is a platform similar against Celtic in the Old Firm match. It wasn't flashy. Everyone done their jobs. That's a platform to build from.
Josh, you're back on.
Yeah, there's been stuff said about Russell's style. He needs to kind of rein it in a little bit and adapt, and I think that's kind of part of it, isn't it? you start defensively organised, you start with the platform, but then he's also brought Raskin back into the system, hasn't he, Craig? And he was fabulous at the weekend. So that's kind of one box ticked. He's kind of healed that rift a little bit with Raskin or whatever was going on behind the scenes. He's got him back in the team, and he
had to bring him back in, didn't he? Yeah, he had to.
Listen,
so you just said there about the system, Charlie. He's not going to change the system. It's the way he plays, isn't it? He might adapt it, but do you think?
I think he's got his principles that will always remain the same. But I think within that, there's certain things you can do. Like against whether it's what they planned on doing, or against Celtic, they went direct the first 15 minutes, a bit more direct than usual. They had long throws in there, so there's small things you can do and tweaks you can make within that. But he's definitely not going to all of a sudden turn into a 4-4-2. Let's get two huge strikers and let's launch it forward. I don't think he's ever going to do that. But within the way he plays, you can still do the basics right, as Craig says. You can defend right, defend properly. Sometimes when the time's right and you're managing games, you can still take long goal kicks and you can still manage the situation. So, positives with the clean sheets. Although I will say against Hibs, there was chances there, good chances for Hibs. So I still worry about Rangers on the break.
Yeah, and again, this is something, like I says, as players, and we've kind of been there, when you're able to keep that clean sheet and build, then all of a sudden confidence goes through the roof. Your goalkeeper behind you makes a save, all of a sudden you've got confidence in your goalkeeper. It's something that can be built upon. Rangers still need to be better. Charlie, I absolutely agree with that. With regards to Raskin coming in, gets him out of the match performance, gets his goal. Again, it's a big part of any football team in terms of, forget about the goal. It was the intensity, the desire, the energy, the willingness. Again, basics that are required, and that needs to flow onto more, for Rangers still to improve. But they're basics, Paul.
Yeah. What do you think the crowd's going to be tonight? This was Russell Martin last night, Josh, speaking about the fans, saying, look, I hope they get right behind the team.
Yeah, I think the Panathinaikos game and the Pilsen game have been brilliant. The atmosphere in them two games was immense. I thought they were great on Saturday after obviously the start of the game and stuff, and I thought they were brilliant by the end. So, we just have to keep winning football matches and putting performances. I think it's not surprising a cup game it wasn't full up. It is what it is. But we can't ask any more from the fans, and now they've been actually inside the stadium and got behind the team when we're playing in the way that we want to play in, really. So, I hope the ones that are there, they see a performance that is improved from Saturday, and like I said, I hope we can win the game and build some momentum.
What kind of numbers tonight do you think? 35, 40,000?
Yeah, I still think that there'll be a lot of people that will steer clear.
Really?
Yeah, I still believe that. Don't get me wrong, you've got a huge support that are still right behind the team, Paul, but I still don't think at this stage Russell Martin has earned the respect of the supporter base to have that full support. But they'll support the team. This potentially could be a real difficult night. I think that Rangers have got enough to maybe go and get the right result. Seen a situation like this, Charlie, many years ago. Valencia, we played against Valencia in the Champions League. Scottish media wrote them off.
Because they were way down the table, weren't they?
They were second bottom at the time in La Liga. Mate, they were the best team I think I ever played against. They hit 2 Champions League finals.
Yeah.
But so early on in the season, it's very early. Yeah. Genk a third bottom. Don't be fooled by positions at this stage of the season. They're in a European competition.
Well, they'll
because
be like
they're
the Rangers and saying they're second.
Exactly. Exactly the same. It's a really weird
false,
situation.
Isn't it? It's and they'll be looking for a reaction. They'll be thinking, right, maybe the league form's not great. Let's get a reaction in Europa League. But come back to your point there about simplifying things. It's just remembered in my career when I had my best spell. And you do a lot of self-talk before the game. There's all sorts of voices in your head. You're thinking, right, it's got off to a good start, all these different things. And I remember my best spell was when I said to myself, just kick it. At centre-half, just kick it and head it. Clear it and head it, and anything else is a bonus. And that almost gave myself permission to not overcomplicate it. Just win your headers, and when it bounces, clear it. And obviously there's more to the game than that. Yeah, but see, when you've done that the first time and the second time, you thought, you're doing well here. Yeah. And before you know it, you're playing, you're bringing it down your chest, you're playing for the back. It's just that simple fly in your mind. Just get back to basics and it makes things so much easier.
And then what that leads to, Paul, is playing a game of football where it just becomes automatic.
Yeah.
You actually don't have to think.
Yeah.
And when you're in that space, I tell you what, it's a great space to be in. I didn't stay in it forever, but there was a period where I go,
how long? Couple of seasons?
Oh, no, nowhere near as long as that, Paul, to be honest with you. No, seriously, because again, you have to reset.
Yeah.
You might have a bad game, you have to reset again. But defender, first pass, first header, first tackle, these kind of things, and it gives you that base to really go. And when you don't have to think, your football goes through the roof.
That's exactly it. That's what people would be really surprised at. That. The less thinking you do on the pitch, the better you feel. You're just playing through absolute, just feel and just on autopilot.
And to be fair, Charlie, you were absolutely brilliant that week. No, I'm kidding. When was it? That was at your time
2
at
weeks in a
Celtic.
row.
No. When was that? Jim's on already saying, Charlie, when was that? Be at Celtic when you were beginning to really motor, when you cemented your place?
It was about 2012. Right. Yeah. That season, I won the Player of the Year, all Player of the Years in Scotland.
And you get your caps.
And I get my start. I get in the Scotland squad, and it just everything just flowed. I remember and that was what I said to myself, because actually when I went to Blackburn, I remember I used to say to my central partner, he was a young lad, Darragh Lenihan, and I used to say it to him before the games, because I thought, I know he was quite a nervous guy, he was very intense, and I used to think, just you worry about kick it and head it.
Win it, head it, clear it.
And he laughed at it, but I think he liked it.
Craig, for you, it was your second time round at Rangers, because you've said before, and I remember, first time round, I don't remember as much about second time, and Barry says it, you were in his top 11 because of what you gave at Rangers defence, and you were up against the Larsons and Hartsons and Suttons.
Paul, I was, for me, I knew my job. I was a simple player. I didn't try to do more than what I needed to do defensively, because I knew my role in the team. I could roll the ball into Barry, and he was one that was able to control a game of football. 4 or 5 defenders as part of that structure to defend and then build up and give it to players that can then go and make a difference going forward. It's a simple game. Loads of people try and confuse it with all the buzzwords, breaking lines, scanning, or
transition.
It's a simple game.
In the pockets. What's your scoreline tonight, Josh? What do you reckon?
I'm going to go 2-1 for Rangers, I think, boys. I think they've shown signs over the past couple of weeks that it's kind of building for them. And going back to this point about simplifying things, David Moyes came into my team, Everton. The lads are kind of more free to kind of go about the duties, and we're kind of seeing it through the results since he's come in. On an aggregate basis, the 5th in the table since David's come in to the club. So that just shows you change of structure, change of ideas now and again, boys, can sort of reap those rewards with similar players as well. I mean, I know he's brought Grealish in, but it's similar players. And I think from Russell's point of view, it has to be a similar thing.
Josh, sorry to cut him, mate. Tell me very, very quickly, because you'll know more about Chermiti in terms of that 90 minutes you said that he got man of the match. Tell me and tell Rangers supporters what you've seen for that 90 minutes.
In terms of his hold-up play, his work rate, his appetite for the game was there. Very small sample size of 90 minutes, but he's a young lad, he's a raw talent. He was brought in by Kevin Felwell, so that connection's there as well, isn't it, Craig? So the Rangers fans have got a lot to be excited about, but I don't think he'll necessarily score as many goals as Miofsky, to be honest with you, Craig. Okay. But it's an investment for the future, isn't he? Let's just say that. He has to build his minutes up, get his confidence up, and then hopefully those goals will follow.
Good to get that insight from somebody who saw Chermiti play one of his best games. We reckon he will start tonight. Josh, thanks so much. Thanks to Jamie before that. Next up, Michael will be on 0808 17 17 700.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. New and improved Whopper. Now with fluffier buns. The Whopper never tasted so good. Let's go!
Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Paul Cooney, Craig Moore ahead of the Rangers game tonight. And just back from his house, he wasn't over there in Belgrade, is Charlie Mulgrew. Pitch to par, we'll talk about in a moment or two. Change at the leaderboard after your encounter with Mikael Lustig. What a player, and maybe what a golfer as well. But lots of calls coming in ahead of the games tonight. Other games down south, there's Aston Villa against Bologna, which means, of course, Lewis Ferguson could well play tonight against John McGinn's Villa. And of course, Villa, bad start to the season. Ange got a draw last night, Craig, your fellow Australian. Yeah,
probably be disappointed. Obviously, they went one down, managed to go 2-1 up. a draw, listen, it gets you up and running. Still chasing his first win, but I believe there'll be plenty of wins for Ange at Forest anyway.
Let's hear from Rangers fans on the way to the game tonight. 8 o'clock's the kickoff, isn't it? 0808 17 17 700. Brendan Rodgers was asked about it last night. Was that a good point?
Yeah, listen, you come to here to a team that's obviously won all of their domestic games, 7 out of 7. I think coming to Belgrade is always a tough game. So listen, we had opportunities in the second half in particular. But no, we showed great resilience tonight. Showed moments of quality to arrive in, and Kel's goal was absolutely outstanding, and we had other moments in the second half. I still want us to be a little bit more proactive in the game. But overall, it was a nice first step for us in the competition.
And that was him speaking last night to Cooney on TNT Sports. Let's go on the lines. Michael's on, a big Celtic fan, Liverpool area. Hi, Michael.
Evening, Paul. I'm back on again.
There you are. Yeah, Michael, what's on your mind tonight?
I'm just want to say that I agree with Jamie earlier on, and I also agree with Tom, who was on last week. I was trying to get on last week, but I couldn't get on, obviously. With Billy Hawley saying what he was saying, and I didn't agree with him there. So basically, what I want to say, guys, is we need change, right? And we need, because if we were to buy these Europa League packages, right, which I'm not doing, and neither's my mates, Castle and all that, right? So they're season ticket holders anyway. But if we were to buy the tickets, right, that means that board will just go, well, they've bought their season, they've bought these packages, and they will just carry on fleecing the fans forevermore. So we need change, Paul, Charlie, and Craig. And
do you not think fleecing, right? Do you think fleecing's a bit strong? Because look, you know what's happened over the years. Celtic is in a really strong financial position. I think almost everyone can't understand why there's so much in the bank, and when some of it could have been spent on players. But overall, you need to be careful what you wish for. And I think, to be fair, if you missed Willie Hockey on last week, he was saying he's as disappointed as anyone that Celtic didn't have a better transfer window, didn't seem to back Brendan Rodgers. I think that's what he was saying. And also that they're in the Europa League when Celtic should have been. But you are where you are, Michael.
I know that. But Brendan Rodgers is two-faced as well, because he's asking the fans to back them in Europe, right? But that he was the one that was talking about the board, this and that, right?
So did you not want him to say anything? Would you rather he said, I'm happy with the window?
He's got his opinions, just like we have as fans. And but I know where you're coming from, Paul.
Do you know what I mean? This was in the context.
Change.
Yeah. 1st of August, he was asked about his contract. That was always going to happen. When he came back 2 years ago, I think it was Dermot Desmond who got him, Charlie. So what a move, wasn't it? Bringing back Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't know if Brendan Rodgers leaves the club. I don't know what better fit there is out there for Celtic with the pedigree of Brendan Rodgers. What he's done at Celtic, the way he's lifted the bar, he's done such a great job. So yeah, need to try and get him a new contract somehow and get him staying.
Do you think they'll do that, Charlie? I know we don't know, but surely
they must be talking about it somewhere behind the scenes. There must be a discussion. I don't see anybody out there that's better fit for Celtic. And if Brendan Rodgers wants to stay, then Celtic should look to keep him as long as he's willing to be here for. So I've no doubts about there must be discussions happening.
I just think as well, and Michael and Rangers supporters, a similar situation, right? In terms of they will hurt clubs by not showing up at games, right? That's going to hurt football clubs, right? And they have every right to voice their opinions in the way that they deem to be best, and that might be not going and paying for that European package. What I think that both clubs certainly need to do better is regular communication with your supporter base, and that's not, there's certain things that you can't go into detail about transfers of players. You don't want stuff leaked to the media and all that sort of stuff, because there needs to be an element of stuff behind. But there needs to be better communication and respect shown to the supporters, for me, that throw so much money at the football clubs.
Kevin, what would you say? Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Kevin. What's in your mind tonight?
Well, just with the kind of fleecing the fans kind of thing, I don't really agree with. I would take a different approach. I mean, I had my season ticket for years. I actually gave mine up in Brendan Rodgers' second season just because he won. But I would never no buy tickets for the game because the Celtic. You want to get behind the guys on the park. Maybe go away, maybe no buy the jerseys or whether it's no buy merchandise and stuff like that. Maybe, but I think you should go to the game and support the guys on the park. But my point was really a wee bit different. Paul Wins was just about the game last night, so I don't know if that's all right or.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, no. Before you'd say that, Michael, do you hear what Kevin's saying? You're both big Celtic fans. It could hurt the club. Would you change?
So basically, what I'm going to say, Paul, is it was a good result for Celtic.
Yep.
Right, Celtic played well. Maeda's no, he's a different guy altogether. I would drop him for Saturday and play Iniacho up front.
Yep.
And also what Kev's saying there, I just what you were talking about the other night there about Club Bruges. We need that model, right?
Yep.
And if we had that model, right, Paul, Charlie, and Craig, pal, right, then and if we've still got Brendan Rodgers, because Brendan Rodgers is a good manager, right? So if he's got the backing of a board and he can get those players in that he wants in, right, then I think that is the way forward in having a Club Bruges model or a Borussia Dortmund kind of model. Do you know what I mean, guys?
Sure. Okay.
And that's the only way I think will work.
They bring them in. They do so well in the Champions League. They stay in there and they then sell them on for more money. But they invest. Say they make 30 million on a player, they'll spend maybe 20, and they make 10 in between. Then move on to the next. They've got a number of big. They've got great turnover. Celtic's model has been brilliant. When you go back to the Virgil van Dijks, the Frimpong recently, there's so many of them. Celtic have a really good model.
Some teams looking at Celtic saying that's. We need to have the Celtic model.
No, but the touch has gone a bit recently. Sorry,
yeah, it definitely has. Yeah,
and that's it. So, okay, Michael, I hear what you're saying there. What about Kevin? What do you reckon? Would you have Iheanacho in from the start of the weekend instead of Dyson, or maybe what would you do?
Yeah. I would agree with that. We were starting up with Dyson Maeda yesterday. I could see it a mile away just watching the game. I mean, I allowed my wife to watch it with me last night. I usually chuck her out because every time she watches it with me, we get bloody beat. But I let her watch it last night, and I'm trying to explain
Steady, she let you watch it. Diversity.
Well, we'll keep that between us, mate.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to explain to her, this guy's just not even making any effort to get on side. He just looked as if, I don't want to say it, right? I feel terrible saying it, but it looked as if he didn't really care. It just looked as if his head wasn't in the game. And that was chalk and cheese, by the way, for the first game, because I was on last week praising them.
Yep.
When they scored, they celebrated. But last night, he just looked way off the boil. So I agree with him there. I would start Iniacho, especially when he's on a wee. That's had 2 goals and an assist in his past couple of appearances. So I think he deserves it, to be honest. He needs to get his man sharpness up, didn't he?
Listen, this time last year, Maeda was a game changer. He was a game changer last night. They took him off. Here's Bill Leckie in the paper today saying, when it came to Dyson in particular, all 3 above adjectives apply: turgid, careless, lazy. That was his opinion. And the Celtic fans, look, most people have never played football at the level you two have. It doesn't always happen, but you can understand. I can see it from his point of view.
He's a human being. If he's emptied that locker, his stuff, he thinks he's gone. So there's one foot at the door in a couple of weeks ago.
But I'm still not buying into the laziness, doesn't care.
No,
is he playing out?
He's not lazy and he cares. There's 2 things for a fact. There's no players that I've came across, Craig, you're bang on, that don't care, and that everybody cares, and it's psychologically he's just try to get back to. He'd probably be saying, right, let's get back at it. Let me. And it's difficult because he's in one foot at the door, and he's probably be excited about his move and about moving, and all of a sudden he's not moved. So he's getting over that and having to. And if there's one player that's going to buck up his ideas and get back at it, if they're looking for knowing the guy, looking from the outside, he looks like he's came for a culture that will eventually turn it around and get after it.
And of course, Tenecti's come in as well. Charlie, is his best position for Maeda down the left rather than through the middle?
I know it's such a hard one because there's about four or five players that want to play down the left.
Yeah.
I don't think Maeda is a typical Brendan Rodgers striker.
Right.
I don't know. I just look at Brendan Rodgers, his strikers he's played. He played in actual for Leicester ahead of Vardy. Vardy used to come off the bench. He played Dembele. He played
Edouard.
Sorry, I forgot his name there. Yep. These are the type of strikers he likes. He likes players that can take the ball in, nice tight touch, and can link the game. He's never going to be that type of player.
And I listen, you're spot on. I even go a stage further. So domestically, Maeda as a striker is not really going to work for Celtic, and for the simple reason is that Celtic are dominating games. Teams are normally deep, where that link-up kind of thing becomes really, really important. Maeda against teams that want to play high up the field will absolutely destroy you. I don't think they experienced that enough in Scotland.
Yeah.
Kevin, what else are you thinking about the team then? It slow in the first half, it just wasn't a typical Celtic.
I would like Craig and Charlie, by the way, I accept your point about the psychological thing, so do you know what, I'll take back what I said. I did say I felt bad saying it, but
yeah, sure. Accepted.
What you've said there, I totally agree. I take it back.
Charlie, have you accepted on behalf of Daisen Maeda his apology? He's apologised.
I wasn't even having a go of that. I was just basically saying it from the player's point of view, and it's just everybody's.
I never thought about it like that, Charlie.
And we love that insight. I mean, I think the house was packed up. They were ready to go. I understand it.
Yeah.
He's given everything for Celtic.
Yeah.
And he thought he was going. It's not. It's been. This is all part of the story over the summer.
That, though, he won't get 3 months to feel sorry for himself.
No, exactly.
He needs to go, right, it's done.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks, now this is your job.
Yeah.
Give everything you want for Celtic, if you want to move, or if you're going to stay here. Shows you want to stay here and you want to be here.
And look at those Celtic fans there last night. What, 1,500, 2,000 paying all that money?
Yeah.
As they do home and away.
Yeah.
Do you see in actual looking at the crowd? I know you can't really see. It was as if you looked at the crowd almost. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say. Did you notice?
No.
The way he just looked at the crowd as if, come on.
Yeah.
These guys and girls have travelled, paid fortunes to go and support the team.
What do you mean? Come on,
I don't know. Sometimes players need to get a reality check.
As if he was annoyed with the fans.
Well, I can't say the angle wasn't great, but he was. Maybe it's the way he reacts. We'll watch to see how he is. He did brilliantly, but do you know what I mean? These fans, home and away, spending fortunes. You're very privileged being in football.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, Kevin.
I think what I wanted to say to Charlie and Craig and yourself is see this midfield three, Charlie.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's no working, mate. There's something no right. There's no spark in midfield. There's something really missing. And for me, see if you go on social media on all the Celtic pages, there's actually a trend now, hashtag free Bernardo. He needs a run in that team because see, for me, mate, as much as I love McGregor and he's a club legend, him, Hatate and Nigrin have been getting away with absolute murder for about 3 or 4 weeks now. Away with murder. The performances have been way below par. And how Brendan Rodgers is stuck with that middle three is beyond me. And which makes it even more perplexing is he plays the same midfield three against a lower league team in the Cup, where he's got to play the same midfield three in Europe. That doesn't. What does that? What kind of message does that send out to Engels, Bernardo? It's just not working. He needs to change it because I'm sorry. I know the boy got his assist last night, but apart from that, he was anonymous. And Hatate, he was as well even on the park.
Free Bernardo.
Yeah, I mean, I seen him come on against Thistle and I did wonder where has this guy been? And he seems to be the only player Brendan Rodgers puts in to replace McGregor. I don't think there's a natural somebody to play that the defensive midfield sort of somebody that links the play between the defence, number 6, defensive midfield sort of player. And McGregor plays every game. There's so many games though that McGregor can't play every single game 90 minutes. That takes its toll on you mentally and physically. So yeah, Bernardo deserves to get I was wondering about that against Thistle, why Bernardo, McCowan and Engels never but Brendan Rodgers might not have that trust in them yet, which I like McCowan. I think McCowan looks a threat when he comes on, and every time he comes on he seems to look like he's going to score.
Celtic were 1-1 last night. Rangers in action tonight. Moore, you could win $2.5 grand next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Try the new and improved Whopper, bursting with flavour and juicier than ever. Let's go! Win on Go with Vision Scotland. Discover life without limits and unlock perfect vision with tailored treatment options that suit you.
Well, with our friends at Vision Scotland, this is your chance to win a jackpot of £2,500. You know the story now. 5 mystery footballers, all of whom have played in Scotland at some point in their careers. Each voice, and 3 of them have already been identified. They're worth £100 the first time, so there's 2 of them still to be identified. You'll get 100 if you get one of them. You get 200 if you get 2. You'll get £2,500 if you name all 5. On the line now, it's Peter in Barmulloch. Hello, Peter. Good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Aye, no bad.
Are you off to the match tonight, the Rangers game?
No, I'm just going to watch it on the telly. It's safer that way.
If you win £2,500, you could jump in a taxi, head down there, get one from Glasgow Taxis. No?
Aye, probably.
Okay. Right, stand by. Charlie Mulgrew is looking. He's interested, as is Craig Moore. You'd have watched Craig a few times for Rangers?
I've actually met Craig a couple of times. I met him at John Brown's testimonial.
Wow.
Well, there was a...
Who was that against?
Yeah.
Well, who did we play?
Anderlecht. Oh. The Belgians in town tonight.
Played in a few testimonials.
Sure. Well, it's Genk tonight. O's in town as well. But look, we'll talk about it shortly. You've obviously heard it a few times, the mystery voices. Here they are, one last time before we get your predictions. And remember, give us all 5. Here we go.
The Go Radio Football Show.
So, voice number 1.
Lawrence Shanklin.
Number 2.
Michael Moles.
Right, the next 2. Number 3.
Andy Halliday.
Number 4.
Virgil van Dijk.
And number 5.
Arthur Newman.
Right, so Andy Halliday came to Rangers after your time, Craig, wasn't it? Good player for Rangers, went to Hearts now at Motherwell. Virgil van Dijk played alongside you. Did you teach him everything he knows, would you say, Charlie
Everything.
Mulgrew?
He was terrible when he turned up. I showed him everything.
Took him under your wing.
Did you watch Charlie a few times as well at some of the Old Firm games, I would imagine, Peter?
Aye, I've seen him a couple of times. He wasn't my favourite person a few of the times, neither was, but he's still alright.
He's not even the favourite person in his own house, but playing, no, that's just not true.
That is.
That was a gag with the McGinns, wasn't it, when they said about John, they said he wasn't even the best player in the house. So, Andy Halliday, right, let's hear it one more time and then I will tell you. Andy Halliday, you said number 3, and Van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk, number 4. Here we go.
The Go Radio Football Show.
What do you think? Number 3 is not Andy Halliday. Number 4, and it's not Virgil van Dijk.
Right.
They were good guesses on that. One's homegrown and somebody came to these shores and played. Can we say what team he played for? Do you think it's time to give a clue? No. Oh, no, Gary's. He's enjoying this authority. No, Peter, sorry. Listen, good guesses, but thank you for trying. What are you thinking about Rangers? Have you turned a corner at the weekend?
No, really, because if Russell Martin's the manager, I think we'll just be in as much trouble as well. We need to get rid of him and get a new manager because he never changes his tactics.
But he adapted a bit, as you said. The Celtic game went more direct at the beginning. But what if you win tonight? Then you win against Livy and then you go on a run.
I know, but it's the fact that if we win the night, but then if other teams win, we're bottom of the league before they kick a blow at the weekend.
I get that. It's a terrible stat, Craig, but it's so early in the season.
How many wins in a row do you think before people completely change?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, you win games of football, Charlie, the noise becomes less. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Cup semi-final, the Celtic game.
Could be a big turning point, and then probably... I've mentioned the international stuff, stop, start. It could work against when you get on that run. It's really difficult because, like I said, the swell against is still so strong.
Remember with Philippe Clement, you went in a great run and then you just lost out towards the end of the season. Remember the Ross County game, different matches. And then the trouble is, at that point, you couldn't beat Celtic in the games that counted. And then last season, you did. But... you were too far behind. But listen, the fans are entitled to an opinion. What about Raskin? How do you feel about him?
I think he's our best player, but at the end of the day, if he's going to be causing troubles and affecting the team and affecting the management, then the manager has made the right decision by keeping him off the park. But if he's listening now and he's on board, then he's got to play him. He's one of the best players.
Yeah, and he'll play tonight. What about Chermiti? You'll be looking forward to seeing him tonight when you watch it, because I think he's playing ahead of Miofsky.
Is he?
We think so.
See what see what happens.
But he must have something. £10 million, 8 to 10 million. And we heard Josh, who's an Everton fan, was on the phone, and he was there, saw him when he played a really good game for the Toffee men.
Yeah. What he did say though, and we did get some feedback because nobody's seen too much of Chermiti, but he Josh said that he probably wouldn't be prolific when you start spending 8-10 million.
So why are you spending that money?
Well, it's a big spend if it's not a prolific striker. Listen, if you're a striker, an attacking kind of player, striker, Rangers and Celtic, if you're not scoring 25 plus goals a season, then you should be.
What does success look like? Don't go, Peter. One more thing to ask you. Here's the manager speaking last night ahead of the game.
Well, to progress through this stage, first and foremost, I don't try and look too far ahead. I don't think we can, because this is the game, then Sunday's the game, and then so to sit here and set any targets for you guys to then hold us accountable to, I don't think is a very clever idea. So in-house, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about every game as it comes, about the context of the game, where the opposition's at, where we're at, where we need to improve. But I want us to attack every game and try and be the team we want to be in every game, regardless of where we're playing, who we're playing against. And we've got some really good opposition where I'm pretty sure we'll have some big nights and some very, very tough nights, but to be ourselves as much as we can. And obviously the games come at different times. So by the end of this phase, from the first game to the 8th game, I expect us to be much better than we are now, and to be, for the team to look in a certain way more consistently than it has done up till now. So I'm really excited about the challenge. Everyone is here and we'll attack it with what we've got.
Craig, what do you think is going to happen tonight, scoreline wise?
I feel as if Rangers can get the right result tonight. Again, I don't expect anything that people are going to come away and go, wow. And at this stage, it's not really important. It's just about getting the win. And I think that Rangers, these European nights are a good buzz. It's not going to be a full house, Paul. I don't believe it will be a full house. Yeah. So, but the support that will be there will get behind the players 100%. It's about starting well, and I think that Rangers can get a win tonight. 2-1. I think it was Josh that said earlier. Yeah. I kind of tend to agree with that kind of scoreline tonight.
Charlie,
I think both teams to score is nailed on.
Yeah.
I just with Hibs, Rangers' chances conceded against Hibs, I just can't see Genk not scoring.
Oh, maybe to score, the former Celtic striker who didn't score at Ibrox, but I see it's there, the South Korean.
Yeah. There you go. There's the bet there.
Yeah.
To score.
Peter, what do you reckon?
I think it'll be one each.
Yeah. Same as Charlie thinks, yeah. Peter, who's your all-time favourite Rangers player?
I'm going.
You're going 2 each, sorry, 2-2. Yeah.
Good odds.
Go for it.
Favourite player?
Michael Moles is my all-time favourite.
Yeah.
Who was better, him or Henrik Larsson?
Well, Henrik Larsson's got the bigger numbers, but it would have depended if Michael Moles never got that injury. It could have been a different story.
Ross McCormick said that, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah.
He played well. He was a young lad when he was there and said he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and Ross
he was
some
player. Yeah, was that just before your time then?
Just before I played, I was a young lad at the time. I was kind of 16, 17 at the time.
Were you at the games then? Did you come along?
We used to go to the games and
do the boots and all that?
Clean the change room and clean the boots and just be there amongst them, listen to team talks and sit behind the kind of dugout and watch the games.
That must have been amazing.
It was amazing. Brilliant.
Peter, listen, thanks a million. Sorry we couldn't give you the $2,500 tonight, but thanks for making the switch and we hope to speak to you soon.
Cheers, thank you.
Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And remember, if you want to win with our friends at Vision Scotland, you can register now at thisisgo.co.uk, and you could be on tomorrow night. Andy Walker will be here along with Barry Ferguson. It's coming up to 6 o'clock. We're back. We've got more from Brendan Rodgers after the news, and also Russell Martin and your calls as well. Charlie, a lot of calls coming in. You getting
calls
some good reaction there on your Insta?
Oh, just have a look now.
Is Henrik called in yet? No, he's not been on yet. What about Michael Moles?
Mikey Moles, what's a player?
Still speak to him?
Yeah, I mean, not all the time, but yeah, Mikey's somebody I speak to from time to time. Great lad, really, really fantastic player he was.
Yep.
injury.
He was an amazing player.
There's
Connor,
somebody come back to me, my sister-in-law. Oh my God, he was just in our office.
Indeed, so
there you go. Small place, Glasgow.
Does she know much about football? We could do with that kind of insight. She's next.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Order the ultimate food satisfaction with the flame grilled bacon double cheeseburger XL. Order your Burger King delivery now.
Let's go! The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. New and improved Whopper. 100% flame grilled beef and packed with fresh ingredients.
Let's go!
Craig Moore, Charlie Mulgrew and Paul Cooney. Well, you can't have everything on the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Lots of calls coming in. 0808 17 17 700. Some of the Rangers fans will be coming on, Charlie. Craig.
Call me Charlie if you want.
Well, Craig and Charlie, the Proclaimers.
Nice.
Good recovery. Yeah. Are you a singer? Either
No,
of you?
I'm definitely not.
Definitely not.
Nowhere near it.
No, you don't remember Christmas night last year?
Before, but
Did you? What did you sing? Anything you can tell us?
I don't even remember.
Wasn't Simply the Best?
Somebody put me-
No.
somebody put
You'll
me
Never
in.
Walk Alone, was it?
It would have been terrible anyway, and it would have been right off key and
At
everything.
least you're honest. He can't be good at everything, can he? Yeah.
No, singing's not my gig.
Craig? Nah.
You don't remember Christmas last year?
Yeah,
Christmas?
of course, that's right. The Christmas do. You don't remember it. Yeah,
well.
I don't.
Well,
Where'd you go?
Can't remember. No, it was a very good night. A lot of Celtic fans were on in the first hour. Still not happy about what the Champions League, the fact that they're not in it, the summer signings, the lack of them. I'm just going to read some of them here. Let me read this one that's come in from Stephen, a Celtic fan, especially when I can find it. Here we go. Stephen says, right, fans boycotting games are going en masse late. Hurts the team on the park. Celtic and Rangers fans who are unhappy with their respective boards should copy what the Birmingham City fans are doing with their issue. They're not happy with the ticket prices at the derby at the Coventry City, so they're not happy paying more. So in support of the team, they're there from the start of the game, but they're not buying programmes, food or drink inside the stadium. They could also stop buying official merchandise. So that's Stephen, who is in Glasgow, Celtic fan, but saying, look, but still go along to the games, support your team. Because, guys, Craig, you know it. We can't speak about a European night, but we hear, oh, the lights are on, which they will be. The atmosphere at Ibrox, one of the best in Europe, if not the world.
It's a great atmosphere, but like as it is at Celtic for the big European nights,
sure.
Paul, and the support. They play a huge role in these matches. They can really sort of like lift the team over the line with the tight games. So, yeah, listen, again, Paul, it's a bit hard to every fan, like I says, have their way of I guess, venting or dealing with the situation at both clubs. We would always love to see full houses and stadiums full, that sort of stuff. Players-wise and all that, there's nothing better.
Does it help you as a player?
Well, not when they're shouting at you, maybe getting your dog's abuse, which I had for a little bit. But a great support can be so beneficial in those kind of real big European nights.
Charlie, I don't need to tell you European nights. Lionel Messi said you have to experience playing at Celtic Park.
Yeah, definitely, and it lifts the team. I know they've said the 12th man and all that, but it definitely is. Yeah. I spoke about Barcelona cheering, the fans cheering, they're throwing in, all of a sudden you start to feel you're playing well.
And you got a corner.
Yes! It's somehow got a corner. Place erupts. No touch the ball yet and the fans are going mad, but it's just that feeling can't be described. You need to experience it. So it really does help the team, but you can understand the fans want to be heard. They want to be in the stadium watching the game. They want to be backing their team. It really hurts the fans no stepping into the stadium because that's what they want. But they want to be heard and they want to get their feelings across. So you can understand why they do these things.
Danny's asking, what do you think the crowd will be next Thursday night? So this time next week. In fact, the game will be on 5:45, Celtic against Braga. And Braga, as you know, Charlie, a 1-goal win for them at home to Feyenoord. So what do you think the crowd will be? 50,000, 45?
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
It's really hard to say. Maybe it's so hard to say. I don't know. I don't
40?
know.
Higher, lower? 45.
38,400.
Really? Okay, 38,400.
I like it. For a number. I know. I don't have a clue. Is the honest answer. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what the crowd will be. I just know it will help the team if the fans are in. But the fans decide how they want to put it across. I can't speak for the fans.
Yeah. Brendan Rodgers spoke last night about the impact of fans at home games.
I think that the lift that the supporters will give the team in these European games would be absolutely critical, and it's, we sensed it here tonight, and our fan base and how fanatical they are can really push us in this competition. So I really hope so. Like I said, I cannot tell the supporters what to do and how to feel, but really, if they can really help us as a team, then that will be amazing, because we will really feel the benefit of that. A packed out Celtic Park can really help us over these coming games.
What about for Rangers tonight? What do you think? In fact, let's hear the manager first. Here he is, the head coach, Russell Martin.
Yeah, I think the Panathinaikos game and the Pilsen game have been brilliant. The atmosphere in them two games was immense. I thought they were great on Saturday after obviously the start of the game and stuff, and I thought they were brilliant by the end. So, we just have to keep winning football matches and putting performances. I think it's not...
And they won at the weekend. So what about tonight? What do you reckon?
Listen, again, for me, consistency is something that will get Rangers on a run, and I think that tonight's a winnable game. Paul. I think that we touch on the supporters and the importance of it. I've played out there when that support's been there. I've also been at the stadium, part of the support when one of these great nights or great moments has kind of happened, and like I said, the fans feed off the energy of the players. Yeah. So the players' job to go out there and really start the game well, get the ball down the opponent's half, that first tackle, that first header. It's got to be like that for the crowd to really engage. I think Rangers have got a great chance, but Genk will be a very, very solid outfit. I hope that I'm wrong and Charlie's wrong, or actually, I hope that O doesn't get his goal for Genk. He come off the bench at the weekend. He didn't start. He come off the bench, I think, got 30-odd minutes.
And they've not had a great start. They're third bottom of the table. And we heard what Charlie said, Rangers second bottom of our table. Here's the manager speaking about Genk.
Yeah, but I'm sure their head coach will probably be saying a similar thing about us. It's been frustrating. I'm sure he's frustrated. They had a brilliant season last season. They finished ahead of Club Brugge, which I think... having watched Bruges against us and then Monaco last week, if you saw that, you realise that that's not an easy task. And obviously they finished in a frustrating way for them. But it's about us. It's about us being at home, generating the energy we want to, turn it into the game that we want to. But they have some really good players and they're good teams, why they play in this competition and why they had a good season last season. So we'll be aware of that and we'll respect that. But it has to be about us and building on Saturday and trying to improve.
We'll give you the team news soon. We think it's going to be Majowski on the bench and Chermiti up front, which Rangers fans will... they like Majowski, did well at the weekend.
Yeah, listen, I mean, the starting lineup is going to be a really important one. And it can't be about players that are building towards fitness. Mm-hmm. For me, it's really important that you've got players that are ready to go, bang, we're ready to go and get the right result to start the game well. So if Chermiti were to come in and start, Paul... He's got to be ready. He's got to be ready for me. It's not someone that's you're nursing to get minutes and all that sort of stuff. Not in a European game. Not in any game for me, in terms of where the domestic title or the league or Europe Cups and all that, a little bit different.
Yeah.
So Chermiti, if he does start, for me, he's got to be ready.
Danny was on earlier, a Celtic fan, asking about Iheanacho, because there's similarities, isn't it, that he's only come in a couple of weeks ago as well, and he has...
Absolutely.
Yeah, he came on for the second half last night. It's a great effect. Charlie, what do you make? How good is Iheanacho going to be?
Yeah, I think he showed real signs of being top striker for Celtic. He holds the ball in, he can finish. That goal last night, the movement there, the subtle bit of movement, but he could have just continued his run. He's checked back, took it in the back foot and just first time put it in the side net. And I don't think it's a goal Maeda would have scored. Definitely not at this moment in time. So yeah, I think he's going to be a huge player for Celtic. I think he's going to be that. Him and Tenecti are massive signings to get into the last day in the window. Although Tenecti wasn't brilliant last night, I think that he's shown signs that he's going to be a real good Celtic player.
But Charlie, see you again for Celtic's game this weekend, right? As a manager, is Iheanacho at the stage? I still think that he's going to be a lot better with more games, more minutes. So, for example, the chance that, and I say he misses, the goalkeeper makes a good save. I think if he's on top of his game, he's able to shift his feet a lot quicker to be able to finish that one in front of goal. I think he's going to be a real handful when he gets fit. But in terms of the management of the Maeda situation, that's a real tricky one, because what you don't want is Maeda being not involved, not still contributing to Celtic, and all of a sudden, it's okay, he leaves in January, but his price goes down.
Yeah, I've got no doubt that Maeda gets, the manager pulls Maeda in for a chat. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think that's now been a couple of performances accumulating with last night, him coming off at half time. I think that he's going to have a chat with him and say, listen, you're here now, it's done. If you want to move in January, let's get moving and let's earn yourself a move to wherever that was going to be. Brentford was rumoured. Whatever it's going to be, let's give everything you can now in this Europa League campaign in the league. Be that guy you were 6 months ago, and let's earn your move. I think Brendan Rodgers is that type of, strikes me as that type of manager, and I think he'll do that. So I think it'll be up to me to sort of get his head together and get his head round that.
The one thing about Iheanacho, just again, I don't know the guy. I know him as a player, and from what I've seen, there's a confidence in the boy. Yeah. There's a confidence in the boy that is going to be, that's going to serve him well up here. You know, he doesn't look as if he lacks in confidence.
Well, we know how good Edouard was for Celtic, and I had heard that potentially Edouard was mentioned about coming back.
Okay.
And Iheanacho was the better choice, was the choice that
he preferred.
They preferred.
Wow.
Or that was preferred. Now, I don't know how true that is, but if that is the case, then that tells you how much quality. And listen, he played in the Premier League for Leicester, first choice striker for a long spell. That you don't do that if you're a bad player. He's shown his quality already, and the minute he gets fit, the minute he gets over the disappointment of maybe being at Sevilla and that wee lull in his career, then hopefully Celtic see the best of him in the prime of his career.
Because the Celtic fans loved him, young Leo, loved Edouard, and it's a pity what happened to Crystal Palace. Started well, didn't he, the first season, but it just sort of petered out. Then he went to Leicester on loan, as you know, last season, and he's at Lens at the moment. He's made a couple of appearances, but he was some player, and he's, as you know, he's only, he was born in 98, so what's that?
Still a whippersnapper.
27, something like that. 98, I know. When were you, 94? No. How is it?
64.
That's steady. Nothing wrong with me, born in 1964. If only. Here's Brendan Rodgers after last night. He was on TNT afterwards, and Connie asked him, 1-1, what's needed to go to the next level? That's what she asked the Celtic manager, who then answered.
I think there needs to be a bit of realism. I think that we are where we are, and I think that tonight is a good point. You're probably not going to go win all 8 games. So I think there's a bit of realism needed to it. This is a good point for this squad of players and for us coming here. And now, like you say, we've got 2 really home games to really go and push forward. So there'll always be criticism, but if you come to Belgrade and you get a point of a team that's won 7 games out of 7, then we can really only focus on what we can do ourselves.
A winner last night for Celtic was the performance of Colby Donovan. The manager spoke about him.
I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I said to all the players after me, I thought he was incredible in the game for a young player, making his 4th or 5th start for us, and to play to that level in such a tough stadium to come and play in. Just turned 19, so he just got personality. It's the big thing. He's not frightened of anything. He goes into the game, he takes the ball, he passes the ball forward, he runs forward, he's aggressive, he stops, crosses, and that's how he trains. He trains to that level every day, so I'm so happy for him. He stepped in, and he's obviously been playing consistently now, but to come to here and perform like that was outstanding.
How good is he going to be? Will he get the chance?
First of all, I'm delighted for him. It's great to see a young boy coming through the system. When I was asking about what the bruise kind of way of doing things was earlier, because I wondered how many players they bring through and play, and I'd like to see that happen at Celtic, because there's players in the system that just maybe need a chance, and Donovan gets his chance, and it's alright getting the chances. I knew he had to take it. I said it on here. You can't just be happy with getting his Celtic debut. You've got to say, right, this is my chance to stay in here, and he's done that. I mean, I know Ralston's not fully fit yet, but he was back on the bench last night. So yeah, he's took his chance. He looks like a good player. He's impressed the manager. He sounds like he's training well. We can only imagine for the manager says how well he's training and how much effort he's putting in, and that's what young Kieran Tierney done. So brilliant to see, and hopefully he can keep his place.
Craig,
it's a huge rap. It's a huge rap from Brendan. So that for me speaks volumes. Certainly there's that trust there. He's a young lad. He will still make mistakes. There's no problems with that when they've got the right attitude, the right mentality, the personality. And again, in terms of that development model, Charlie, that you're trying to compare with other, it's a position that should be allowed to come through your system. So the top end strikers, wingers, people that can affect games of football is normally when clubs go for that foreign kind of talent.
Yeah.
Right, but the fullback kind of roles for me should be positions that are dominated by people that come through your academy.
Do you think Celtic and Rangers are in a good position to bring young boys through? Do you not think that they could do it more?
I've always said it, Charlie. I think that we're talking about Rangers. I'm talking about a lot of football clubs. I don't think are brave enough to play younger players, to give them that opportunity, because we know it's such a results-driven business. You can't drip 3-4 in at the same time, but you can one. You can one or two and all that sort of stuff, and then certainly the benches are big enough now. Results, you can get players in and involved. You can get them involved in a warm-up so they can get that experience.
Do you think putting a rule in would be good? So a certain amount of players need to...
Do you fancy it? It used to be in, remember?
Well, if we want a better national team and more Scottish players playing, if we say you need to have at least 2 homegrown players in your squad, or in your team even, in your starting 11 there needs to be 2 homegrown players.
Yeah,
because
what would be the downfalls about that?
Yeah, if you have 2 homegrown players within your squad.
No, I'm saying in the starting 11.
In the starting 11. Again, I think that it's something obviously with SFA. For example, you go to certain Asian countries, Charlie, and they have rules where no foreign goalkeepers.
Yeah, have they?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure in China. Okay. So it's like, so again, there's
why?
Well, I don't know.
I know. Yeah.
But sometimes there's a certain curriculum. So a lot of countries, Scotland. It's a little bit similar in terms of Australia. Australia for a long time haven't produced a real top-end striker. And then you go, okay, no wonder, because when you look at all the Australian A-League clubs in Australia, all the strikers are foreign.
Yeah. Viduka, he was a great striker from Australia. Yeah, Viduka.
He was...
Who else was
unplayable at times.
The Basque teams are like that, aren't you?
Yeah,
they need to have a certain amount of Basque play. You need to be Basque to play.
Absolutely.
Real
Sociedad
are the same, and
Bilbao.
If you're not Basque, you can't play for Bilbao. Would that be right in saying that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And they do well every year.
And they've got the award now. It's a world award. They look around, and somebody who stays with their team, men and women, they give them the Bilbao award.
Is that right?
Yeah. In fact, I saw it went to East Scot just the other day, which Gary's going to remind me of a young woman who got it for staying for a period of time. We'll tell you in a moment or two. But there is something in it. But Charlie, there must be a downside. You're right. But there's not enough Scottish talent coming through. I tell you, the Cy Ferry story was when Cy was a young player at Celtic. He wasn't getting first team action, maybe got a little bit, but he'd be, when there was the rule that you had to have, was it 323 players, and they'd come on the bus and they'd be going to play whoever, and Chris Sutton would go, oh, for goodness sake, when he saw him. It was a great story from him. Cleaned it up a wee bit, you can imagine Sutton them all sitting there.
I see that bus, that was the hardest bus to,
was it?
Wow.
The characters in there.
I remember sitting in a seat. We trained at Rod Stewart's house.
Oh,
right. We trained at Rod Stewart's house.
What's the house like?
It was like a converted barn. We get ready in the stables, which was changed into a changing room with Celtic strips and that up. Surreal. My first away pre-season trip. I phoned back to Alana, my new wife, and I was like, I just trained at Rod Stewart's house. She didn't believe me. And I was like, honestly, like, after training, we went to the pool and we had lunch. Like, sat by the pool. So I walked into training and Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster standing on the hill. She's videoing training and we're just training on his 11-a-side pitch in his back garden, which was like a bowling green. But my point of the story was I was sitting in the bus and I just took a seat in the bus and Stan Varga walked right up the bus and just said, that's my seat. There was loads of empty seats.
Big Stan Varga.
And I was like, I just kind of smiled as if joking or no, and he was like, that's my seat. And I just like stood up and it's just such an intimidating squad. A brilliant squad.
It's a brilliant story as well, because as you got a little bit older, I'm probably sure one of those younger players that come through, you knew whose seat it was, and you go, yeah, go sit there, son.
Oh, of course, yeah. Thanks, Craig. Keep me right. Yeah. So you get changed there at Rod Stewart's place. Did he say to you, the jersey, you wear it well? I know it's before your time, but
no, I liked that Rod. No, it was brilliant to train there. It was good. It was a surreal experience. It was
must
mental.
have been. He was a good player, wasn't he? I mean, I think he was on the books. Yeah,
I don't know.
Did he take part? Yeah, I think he was. He was a young professional footballer. Craig, what about you? Let's drop a name. You've just dropped a great name there. I love a name drop anyway. So
I didn't train at his house. But obviously we had Big Sean Connery, obviously.
Of course, that's right.
In the dressing room every now and then. I was good friends with
David Murray.
With David Murray, yeah. I remember, I think, one of the cup finals. So a couple of times, but again, we're in there preparing for a game. All right, big, and how you doing? It's like, you know what I mean? You want to go and win a game of football. Right, get him out. Come on, move.
Yeah. I remember interviewing him at the house in the south of Spain, and also then at a European game at Celtic, because Sean had been a Celtic fan. He's from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And then he got to know David Murray and became a Rangers fan later on in life, so he was interested. And at the house, and he said, what is it you do? And I said, I work for the radio station in Glasgow. And he shouts, and his wife, Michelin, this young man works for my radio station in Glasgow. And he then talked about the radio station and all the rest of it. It's not that bad, but he was there in the house, an absolute superstar. Down near Puerto Banús, and he had a house there. Yeah, it was at that point he had a place there. But the thing is, everyone loves their football. He then wanted to talk about it. He wanted to talk about Celtic at that point, and then he phoned up. It was the '88 season. Celtic won the double. He phoned, and I'd sent him a note just saying, "Well done, you won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for The Untouchables." And it was part of my role. I was head of marketing and all the rest of it. So I sent one saying, "Well done, your shares are doing well. Well done with The Untouchables." Blah blah blah. And then he phoned and he got through to reception, and the call came through to my office and people were in, and I went hello, and on the reception Audrey said, "That's Sean Connery for you." And you know, you think, oh yeah, fine. And I actually thought it was Ross King, so I went, "Hi Sean." And he went, "Hi." And you know, you just know. So he was on between 5 and 10, wanted to talk football. He said, "You speak to Big Billy, would you tell him well done for winning the double?" I mean, it was surreal.
Let's hear how he said it.
I can't. Maybe Ross will come on and do it, Paul. He said, "You're a hell of a man to contact."
One quick one as well, who's not Scottish, so it's a little bit away from the Scottish team. 2010 World Cup, we're in our camp base for Australia. Qantas, obviously Australian airline. John Travolta out. Mate, brilliant. Obviously up, and Timmy K was doing a bit of singing and dancing and all that. Carry on. Yeah. Brilliant. John Travolta.
Was Sandy there?
She wasn't there, but we did break out with a few of the Grease tunes.
She's the one that you want.
She's the one that you want. Yeah. We got the wrong one, but John Travolta, not bad.
We will talk football ahead of the game tonight, but that was surreal. Honestly, you're a hell of a man to contact. Oh, crikey. And I was giving, "Hi Sean."
You can go for a Celtic fan, a Rangers fan.
The
same lifetime. That's a bit.
He was certainly. Yeah, that's a fact.
But have I heard, again, listen, I'm a bit naive.
Yeah.
I've heard, and it could be, we hear a lot of things. Did Rod Stewart ever support Rangers earlier on?
I don't know. Maybe.
Again, so I don't know. Any callers? Any people listening?
Exactly. Let's get Rami on that one.
Yes.
08 17 700. Charlie Mulgrew is here, as is Craig Moore.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Try the new and improved Whopper, bursting with flavour and juicier than ever. Let's go!
Rangers in action in 90 minutes time against Genk. We'll give you the team news. Think it should be in, Craig, in about 15 minutes. But we reckon maybe no change apart from Chermiti Hope I'm right on that one. In for Miovski. So we'll find out.
I wouldn't expect
shortly.
too many other changes, Paul. Again, Rangers need to get on a run, and that means consistent, which means not a lot of player change.
Let's hear from Cornelius.
Okay.
His first European match.
Yeah, it's myself individually. It's my first European match, so it's always something to look forward to. I hope it's going to be a memorable one, and yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about European games and Rangers, so I'm just looking forward to get going.
And he spoke about his ambitions for this season.
It's tough to answer. I think first and foremost, from what I've gathered from the club and the people around the club, is that they want to see a team that's ready to give their all, performance-wise, and I think that's what you can expect from us tomorrow in a European match, and then after the result will take care of itself. But I think from the team's perspective, we need to go out there, give 110% and do everything we can to win, especially at home.
Craig, what do you make of him so far?
I would like to have heard him say that I'm here to win trophies. Again, that's when you're part of the big two football clubs, that's what it's all about. But anyway, listen, he's a lad that's obviously got experience. He's involved with the national team setup. He looks as if he's going to be able to sort of like do his job well and then maybe influence and coach others, which is important, I think, in this particular Rangers team, because I don't feel as if there's a lot of that. Is he a flying machine? He's not a flying machine. So therefore he will need to be very good at his game awareness and reading situations, because toe to toe he might get left behind in a few races.
In front of him, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
Charlie, what do you make of him from what you've seen?
Yeah, he looks like good footballer, very comfortable on the ball, holds on to it at times, seems to have a calm presence. But knowing full well when you're not the quickest defender in the world, you need to. You can have the first yard in your head and you can organise in front of you, especially when your team's attacking. And in that final third, you can help lock them in by organising your other centre-half partner and your midfielder in front, and you can make sure that you keep them in there and save you running 70 yards back the way our ball's getting played over the top. So I think he needs to bring all of that with him, and early signs show that he has a good centre-half.
I think, Craig, I wasn't at the media conference, but in fairness to him, I think there were quite a few questions about the fans. So maybe it was in the context of that.
Yeah,
it maybe was, because the order was maybe... In fact, this is what he talked about blocking out the protests.
Yeah, for me individually, I don't think it was so hard to block out the noise. When you sign up to be a professional footballer, this is kind of the stuff that can come with the job. When things are not going well, you're gonna hear about it. You're gonna feel some sort of pressure from outside. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what's happening on the pitch, and it comes down to what we're doing on the pitch. So for me individually, it hasn't really affected me that much. I had my job to do, my role to play. And then just try and win games for Rangers.
Lille 0, Brann 0 at half time. Of course, Brann up against Rangers soon. So that was the context. And there was one other question about the impact that the fans' protests are having on him and the players.
I think our fan base can be our biggest strength, but also one of our biggest obstacles to overcome. When they get behind us, I think it can be definitely a 12th man on the pitch. But ultimately that comes down to us. They're going to feed off our performance. They're going to feed off what we're delivering on the pitch. So I think tomorrow is no different. If we go out there and we show that we're a team ready to push, then they're going to get behind us and ultimately be the difference in the match.
Again, you give me a little bit more there, Paul. There is an experience, obviously, to the way that he's speaking there, and even in terms of the game against Hibs, right? So the protests and all the kind of drama that's happening at the football club at this moment in time, the playing group went out and showed what they were capable of under extreme pressure. Mm-hmm. It's just about being able to knock that out consistently, because that's the situation that they need to be in, where they can really feel the full benefit of the support for, rather than at the moment it's like... it's still a little bit uncertain, but they've shown that they're capable. Can they show that consistency, which is something that I think anybody that's supporting Rangers have been crying out for the last few years.
I think the players have put themselves in this situation. So if they can come out the other end of it, the only way they'll do that is by winning 3, 4, 5 games consistently. Fans come back in, get behind them, they're going to really feel that better than ever. So it's up to them to change that.
Do you think they will turn? I heard your question to a Rangers fan earlier, and you said quite reasonably, how many wins would it take? To Peter, who was on, and I thought it was a good question.
I was just interested to see what his point of view has been, a Rangers fan, because I know with every passing win, things seem to be better already. There's less phone calls in here on Monday because they beat Hibs. All of a sudden people begin to go, can they go on a run? And if you go on a run and you win games and you play good football, or forget about good football, just win games, then fans will begin to get behind you, because that is what it's all about. It's about winning games, and I think if Rangers experience that and they get the fans behind them again, the players are going to feel it, because they've felt the worst at Ibrox. Can they feel, when they feel the best, they're going to take a lot of confidence for that? How many games? I don't know. Maybe if they win today and then they beat Kilmarnock on Livingston on Sunday on that pitch, that's 2 big games won. That's a run of 3 games. All of a sudden things begin to look a bit better for them. So big week for Rangers. And
Robert's been on, a Rangers fan. He's not there tonight. I think he was trying to get hospitality late on. Maybe you did, Robert. But he said, look, it wasn't a losing streak they were on. It was drawing mainly. And now if they can get a win again tonight, so that's 2 in a row. And then Livy. And I know it's an if.
Tough game as well.
Drawing at Celtic and Rangers is just like losing. You can't draw games.
Is that how it felt for
that's
you?
That's how it felt. That's when I went to Blackburn. I drew my first game away to QPR. Right. And I was so disappointed. I was on the bus and I was like no speaking and looking about and wondering why everybody was chirpy and chatting and laughing and joking. And I thought, and I realised that the other teams down south or outside Celtic and Rangers, you can draw games away and it's a good result. You can lose games and sometimes it's not the worst, because if you win the Celtic Rangers, you can't draw games. You need to win. A draw away from home is not enough.
And you saw his face a few minutes ago, Charlie, when he heard Cornelius, and Cornelius was saying about his ambitions, but didn't say to win. I know he's a young player, but he's an international player. And the DNA of Rangers has been to win. They can't say it too often, because others will say, well, you've not won much in the last decade or so. I get it. But it's ingrained in you. You're a treble winner. You were used to winning cups, titles.
It's certainly the intention. When you set out to go and attack a full season, and again, this is the kind of territory that comes with both the football clubs, and this is the type of personality that you must have. And Paul, like it says, I mean, well publicised that I had kind of tough times at the football club as well, but I think then you actually are able to appreciate the good times so much more. And Rangers and Celtic, these football clubs, see, as long as you leave your absolute all out on that field, right? And that's, you run, you do everything you possibly can to contribute to that game of football. You can have a bad day. You can have a bad day, because we all have a bad day. It's just about that commitment, energy, desire and willingness. It's when that you see that that's not there. That's when the supporters can really jump on you. And sometimes it's tough as a player, Paul, because body language sometimes sells in a completely different way to what that person's actually like. Someone can look as if they've got a little bit lackadaisical in terms of their body language, and it comes across as if they don't really care. But when you know more about people, you kind of can understand a little bit. He actually does care. That's just the way he moves. You know what I mean? Body language is a real big 100%. Thing in football.
And when you're going through a bad time and you're really lacking confidence, you can't fake that. So your shoulders are naturally slumped, and some people again say you don't care, you're down in tools. It's just not the case. Every single player that I've ever played with wants to do well, wants to have a good career, wants to work hard, wants all this stuff. It can be challenging at times.
You both made good points. That was picked up by one of the callers earlier on. I think it was Michael, when you said about Maeda, because he was getting thrown into Maeda. And then you said, look, but here's the other side of it and how he might feel. And I think Celtic fans will always respect what Maeda did for the club. What was that, 33, 34 goals last season, player of the year. And we don't know the conversations, but you can imagine. He thought he was going, the house is packed up, ready to go. He's only human. He's suddenly out the house. He thinks he's going wherever it was, probably Brentford, maybe Germany. And actually, when you see those performances, but he now needs to perform for Celtic to keep good for Celtic.
I think it's about understanding he's a human being.
That's right.
Understanding what he's gone through, his emotions at the time, thinking he's got one foot at the door, packed his house up, emptied his locker, and all of a sudden he doesn't go anywhere. That has a cost to his performances. But if there's one guy that's going to get his head down and kind of work his way through it, and has shown that he's willing to fight for the jersey and fight for the club, it's Maeda, because that's what he's based on. That's his whole sort of game, running through brick walls for his teammates and running back and helping and unselfish running. Some runs in the 90th minute he's made in games where Celtic have been cruising have just shown his desire. So he's somebody that needs to, but on the same token, we won't feel sorry for him. Nobody will keep feeling sorry for him for 3-4 months. He needs to then realise this is where I am, and I'm sure he'll do that.
Yeah, but the thing is with Maeda, again, his character's his character, and that's an ultimate professional. So he will be at it. He will be disappointed, right? He's going to be there for the time that he's going to be there, and he's going to do everything that he possibly can. Sometimes the narrative can change really, really quickly in terms of, so there was a potential move. It didn't happen. So now he's still at the football club, and then he has a poor performance, and then all of a sudden it can accelerate really, really fast by speculation. Yeah. I don't even know Maeda, but I know that he worked with someone that I trust really well, and he's an unbelievable professional. So I don't think there's any concerns for Celtic in terms of the professionalism of the player. The important thing is that he dusts himself down as quick as he possibly can, because as footballers who are human beings, they do have bad games.
Yeah. It's that person, Angelos Postecoglou.
Kevin Muscat.
And Kevin Muscat, of course. Yeah, the ex-Rangers player.
Kevin Muscat worked with Dazen at Yokohama Marinos as well.
Of course he did. 0808 17 17 700. We'll have the Rangers team soon. Elaine's been on from Annie's Land. Thank you, Elaine, for all those comments. And she's saying it was Joel Murray who won an award recently for staying at one club. It was Hibs, the One Club Women 2025, given by Athletic Club of Bilbao. She played 507 games for Hibs FC over 20 years. So that was 2004 to 2024. Well done, Joel.
Great effort.
Brilliant. Nice. Rangers team news next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Save big with the £6.49 Kansas Barbecue King Box, featuring a barbecue stacker burger, fries, Kansas barbecue chicken fries or onion rings, and a drink. Exclusively on the app. Let's go!
European action tonight. Rangers up against Genk, opening their European account. It's only 3 years ago Rangers got all the way to the final. I wonder if it could be a Rangers-Celtic final in the Europa League. We talked last night about what about Forest against Celtic? What about that one, eh?
Oh my
Box
God.
office.
What about that? That would be unbelievable if that happened.
Charlie, almost worth missing out in the Champions League if you went all the way to the final.
That's what I mean. I think that's what Celtic and Rangers fans have got to look at now. I mean, they've proved over the last, Celtic have been to Seville, Rangers twice in the last however long, been to finals. So, got to believe. Could be a blessing in disguise come the end of the season.
Do you want the team? Here's the Rangers lineup. Just dropped now. Butland, Tavernier, of course, the captain. Suter, Cornelius, Emegoma, Raskin, back in there. Diomande, Asgard, Moore, Gassama, Chermiti. So we were right.
Your mail was good, Paul.
Asgard.
Yep. Asgard in as well. Yep, Charlie looking at on the bench. Kelly, Wright, Rothwell, Barron, Antman, Jiga, Miofsky, Gentles, Danilo, Rice, Curtis, McCallion. Craig, what do you make of the team?
Not many changes, Paul, which is kind of what I expected. Chermiti comes in, which you were talking about, Paul. I'll give you credit for mentioning Chermiti, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes tonight. Raskin in there. I've got to give a special mention and probably eat my words a little bit with Magoma. Mm-hmm. I think since he's come in, I think he's been, for a young lad, he's flown under the radar and just gone about his business and been really, really steady and consistent. And for defenders, I think that's absolutely the quality that you need to have. And again, he's only 19, 20 years old. He's not, he's come in and done quite well. So Magoma, special mention for me, because I did doubt the move initially when it was announced.
Charlie, what do you make of the Rangers lineup?
Yeah, as expected. They want to go on a run now, so they want to make things they want to make things as consistent as possible. And one change, Chermiti coming in, interesting to see how he does. Big money signing, but he needs to get game time. If you spend that money on a player, he needs to get his chance, and tonight's a chance for him.
Who else do you like in the team? Still early days, not been a good start. What about Mikey Moore?
I agree with Magoma. I agree with you on Magoma. When he came in, I'm thinking another young player, kind of.
Yeah.
Don't know how strong and how ready he is to play for a team like Rangers and be that man to step up. But to be fair, he's not really put a foot wrong. He's been good. Gassama, I think, looks like a threat for Rangers. Moore, much better against Hibs. It suited him coming inside, playing more as a 10, letting Tavernier playing more as a kind of attack midfielder and putting Tavernier pushed on the right hand side. The goal comes from against Hibs, forward runs that I was mentioned, with Tavernier in the inside channel, Moore in the inside channel, number 10. He then makes a run and he's inside the box. Cuts Raskin, kind of talk about Raskin's new role as well. Yep. I was interested to see what that was, and watching the game, it's like he plays as like a defensive midfielder but has a free role, and he seemed to be thriving in that role. So be interesting to see how he does again tonight. Pops up on the right wing, he sort of give an assist to Moore to cut it. Well, he has a shot and it bounces off Rocky Bashiri into what's his name? Miovski's path. He taps it in. So yeah, listen, I like Moore looked much better when he came inside. Asgard looked a better player. Yeah.
Do you think, Charlie, that Mikey Moore, because remember you touched on it in terms of the combination and the understanding between himself and Tavernier on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there maybe against the game with Hibs there was a better understanding from Mikey Moore in terms of that box midfield that you were talking about?
Exactly. And I think Russell Martin came out and said that the players followed instruction. It's the best he saw them kind of and since he's been in the club, and I think a lot of that is what I seen Moore coming inside in that number 10 box midfield area, and he stood still for the ball. Asgard came in, was inside there as well, and the players kind of held their positions. But it's not just holding their positions, you need to make forward runs, forward passes like we spoke about before, and they did that and they get the goal. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build on that.
Here's what the manager, he was asked yesterday, what does success look like this season in the Europa League?
Well, to progress through this stage, first and foremost. I don't try and look too far ahead. I don't think we can, because this is the game, then Sunday's the game, and then so to sit here and set any targets for you guys to then hold us accountable to, I don't think it's a very clever idea. So in-house, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about every game as it comes, about the context of the game, where the opposition's at, where we're at, where we need to improve. But I want us to attack every game and try and be the team we want to be in every game, regardless of where we're playing, who we're playing against. And we've got some really good opposition that, where I'm pretty sure we'll have some big nights and some very, very tough nights, but to be ourselves as much as we can. And obviously the games come at different times. So by the end of this phase, from the first game to the 8th game, I expect us to be much better than we are now, and for the team to look in a certain way more consistently than it has done up till now. So I'm really excited about the challenge. Everyone is here and we'll attack it with what we've got.
Norman's going to be there. He's listens to the programme. He was a good player as a youngster. He was 75 yesterday. Norman Ross listening in. He'll be at the match tonight. We just wonder how many Rangers fans will go along. What did you make of what the manager said there about what success looks like?
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't want to set too many targets in the public and all that sort of stuff. But again, the job is to go and take it, as boring as it sounds, game at a time, go and win games of football. Listen, Paul, I hope that he is the one that can turn things around and that is there come the end of this, because I think there would have been huge growth for him and his staff personally, and also the playing group. I would love nothing more than to see that. Now there is, and again, Charlie will agree on this, players need to stand up as well. And this is a time where they can really make a difference. I've certainly not heard any bad things coming out of the football club. The coaching is rubbish or this or that. So I would love to see him be able to come through this. How many games before the noise gets a little bit softer?
Yeah,
I don't know, but what I do know is he has to win games of football, and the team, the players, need to really be able to dig in and help that.
And they looked to be behind him at the weekend, didn't they, Charlie? They tough moments.
They did. When they needed them when they needed the players the most, they stepped up. They got the result. Listen, can things be better against Hibs? Absolutely. The manager said that himself. But tonight they'll be looking to go and win this game. He doesn't want to say it in the press, and then on Sunday they definitely need to win. So it's just keep winning games, and then that's how you make everything a lot better.
When we're talking less, Paul, when we're talking less about the situation, that means that the situation in there is better.
Sure. And we talk more about the games. And you see so many calls, so many messages are about the fans' protests.
Yeah.
And it's not often you get both sides equally as fed up with it all.
Yeah.
They've had it in some ways. Right, just want to ask you a couple of things about the weekend. Celtic Hibs, what do you think, Charlie? What do you reckon?
Hibs.
So Hibs, as you know, drew the other night.
I was at Falkirk Hibs the other night.
Oh, you there? Yeah, of course you were. In fact, I saw you then.
I was doing my Tony Adams impression.
I loved that.
With my Batman cape on. I can't believe they caught me on camera.
Did Emma catch you out there? Was that the...
Emma caught me. They spoke about doing it actual live kind of illustrations, demonstrations, and I did it, and then they put it back on. It was funny. It's
good fun.
But looked a bit like Batman with my big long black coat on, doing bit nimble in the shoes.
The Prince of Darkness, We'll get you in strictly along with Ross and Joita.
A lot of people have compared me to Tony Adams.
All right, yeah.
I'd love it to compare to him as a player, but I don't know about as a dancer and the movements he made. But no, Hibs, really disappointing. They never won that game. I mean, they just keep conceding too many goals at the wrong time. They've got conceding right before half time constantly, and it's not helping them defensively. I don't think they look anywhere near as strong as last year.
And for Celtic, what do you think?
For Celtic, I think Celtic are going to win it 2-0.
2-0. We've obviously got a huge game tonight. I'm not going to ask you about Rangers at Livy because that's another game away. What do you think, Celtic? Do you expect them to continue winning
against Hibs?
Against Hibs?
I'm going to go for a draw in this match.
A draw? Right, okay.
I'm going to go for a draw in this match.
Right,
Look,
okay. And Hearts Falkirk?
Hearts,
you'd go on that one.
Yep.
You saw...
I want to change it to 2-1. I just feel that Hibs are a threat. Sorry, who's the next one?
Yeah. No, I'm not going through them all. We don't have enough time. But
all right, Hearts
Falkirk. Yeah. What do you think?
I think Hearts will win that one quite comfortably, 3-1.
We're going to clip this up for next week. Dundee United, Kelly, your old team, put a win against Aberdeen.
Well. I'll be tight. Yep. I'm going to go 1-0 Dundee United.
St Mirren Dundee, Craig, what do you reckon?
St Mirren
and Motherwell Aberdeen. I'm going to throw that to you, Charlie. It's on the telly. Are you on with it? No, but it's on the telly. So Motherwell won last weekend.
Potentially Jimmy Tilleen's last game.
Yeah. What do you think?
Aberdeen can't score. Motherwell 2-0.
Mm-hmm. Aberdeen no goals so far. What do you reckon, Craig, on that one?
I have to side with Motherwell. Aberdeen, it's really, really tough at the moment. Motherwell at home for me.
Tonight, Rangers, a minute left in the programme then. So we gave you the team there: Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Cornelius, Megoma, Raskin, Diamandi and Asgard, Moore, Gassama, Chermiti.
Hey, I'm going to go for a Rangers win.
Yep.
2-1. Chermiti to score. And Charlie, you can even have O scoring, right? As long as the score is 2-1. That's what I'm going for.
Two each. Or he score.
Or to get a warm reception, because he's loved by Klinsmann, who was obviously the South Korean manager who was there. Well, tomorrow night we'll be here with Barry Ferguson, Andy Walker. We'll find out how it went. Celtic getting a draw last night away from home, which is it's not a bad way to start the campaign.
Not a bad result. I think Celtic are in a good place at the moment. I think a wee bit of stick for last night, but listen, that's a good result away from home. And the Thistle performance was big. I think they're going to domestically go on a good run. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks to everyone who was on this evening, and we're back tomorrow night. Ross was on with Joita this morning. We've run out of time. They were talking about me doing the slosh. We ran out of time. Sorry, Charlie. I know you'd love to have heard that. And we're back tomorrow night, live at 5. Have a great night.
This is the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction with a Gourmet King's Barbecue Steakhouse Angus. Order now on the Burger King app.
Let's go! The Flame Grilled Whopper from Burger King. The most food-filling burger.
Is it, though?
Is that?
Yes. A slightly better version of you.
I don't understand.
Just like the new Whopper that's juicier and tastier than ever before. Same, but hits different. That's my line now.
Oh, sorry.
Whopper never tasted so good. Order now on the Burger King app.